All right, my dirt diver friends, it's time for a little update. Painting little stuff right now. So, hinge for the grill, hinge for the windshield, hinge for the hood latch bracket. Also, I'm going to repaint these roll bars because I missed a couple spots. The hard thing, frustrating thing here is that this is little bitty stuff that just takes forever. It's not super rewarding because it's not super big to paint. But the good thing is every time I paint one of these little things, we can bolt it onto the 40. So as you can see, I've got parts laid out. I got to paint this grill white. It's like almost like an almond colored white. I think it's called Wimbledon white. Still got to paint the transmission hump. The reason I have not painted this yet is, and I'm not looking forward to this, is as you can see right down here, it's got some rust. So I'm gonna have to replace that, weld some metal in there and try to make that work. The hood is actually in really good shape. I just gotta paint it, basically sand it down and paint it. I got the gas tank cover, running boards ready. I did pull the seats out and the brackets for the seats, pull them out so we can get those sanded down and painted. But I'm ready to get this thing going. It's been too long. I've done some work on my son's Sequoia. Let me show you real quick what I've done down there. All right, so this is a 2002 Sequoia. We put a 2.5 inch lift on it. Painted these rims, cleaned them up and painted. They look brand new. These are open country AT Toyo tires, and they are 255 80/17s. They're pretty narrow, which is okay. I like that. I like that look. I think they call it pizza cutter look. But the other reason we got them is, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's not a ton of room between that tire and the top A-arm. So without getting new rims that have more of an offset or putting some spacers in there, you got to get kind of tall, skinny tires. But I think that looks pretty cool, actually. I like the way it looks. So we did that. We also did the brakes on the front, and we put in a CarPlay radio with a Blaupunk 8-inch subwoofer under the seat, and it really sounds good. So tucked it all in. It fits nicely down under the seat there. Just got to be careful if we're sitting back here not to step on those plugs and break it. But this has been our project for the last couple weeks, getting this thing in order. So I'm going to finish painting all this stuff tonight. Roll bars and these brackets, get the clear coat on them, and tomorrow morning we'll bolt all this stuff on. All right, I got that hinge painted and bolted on, brand new shiny bolts, and actually wet sanded the aprons and the fenders and this front grille because there was a little bit of orange peel on them. I'm gonna need to redo them eventually anyways, because they did not turn out as good as the tub. They'll look okay, but I'm planning to drive this thing and it's going to get scratches and nicks and all that in it, so I'm not worried about it right now. But eventually I probably will repaint those fenders. I put on the turn signals, even though you can see there's a crack in that one. I'm going to replace the covers on them, probably scrub these things really good, and try to get them looking good. The housings are in good shape, but the lenses are a little bit old and a little bit foggy, so I'll replace them. This one's cracked too, kind of in the middle here. So I'll replace those, but I want to get them on there because I'm really wanting to get this thing wired up. That's the next big thing. I want to get these fender aprons and stuff in here so I can go ahead and run all the wires and hook up the headlights and get this thing wired up. I'm also going to have to rebuild this carburetor, I'm pretty sure, because I can get it to run, but in order to keep it running, I've got to turn the idle up pretty high. I'm gonna play with it some and see what I can do, but chances are, I mean, that carburetor's been sitting for 4 or 5 years without being used, so I'm sure it's gonna need to be rebuilt. So everything's on here kind of loose right now. Just as you can see, I just got the bolts in there kind of holding it. I'm gonna have to actually drill in here. One of these holes did not line up really well down here. That one did not line up really well, so I'm gonna have to re-drill that. I also noticed the battery tray is touching the fender over here, so I'm gonna try to do something. If nothing else, I'll put some rubber, cut a little rubber gasket or something in there, because I don't want that. That would eventually just rub all the paint right off that fender. So I'm just going to adjust these fenders a little bit, make these seams fit a little nicer. As you can see, that seam's not fitting really well. Still got to put the running boards on. They're painted in the back of the truck, ready to go. I did put the window hinges on with the new hardware that I got, and again, they're not tightened down, just everything's kind of snugged up. Got a price on a windshield, and I just need to paint the windshield frame. It's gonna take 2 weeks for that windshield to come in, so that's a good deadline for me. Make sure I get that done. So I gotta paint that windshield frame, get it ready. When they get here, they're gonna replace, put glass in my windshield frame for this, and they're gonna put glass in the FJ55. So if you have not seen any of my videos on the 55, I've been working on this just a little bit. I bought some Duplicolor Wimbledon white, which from I Hate Mud, everybody says that's the right color. And as you can see, it's pretty darn close. So I've got the aprons that came off of my other FJ55 that we bought for parts, which was this green camo color. And they're not all dinged up, so I'm gonna swap these out and paint this hood, sand it down. Probably not going to do as much on this one as far as, you know, sandblasting everything, taking off the frame. My goal is to just get this one on the road. It actually runs. I got to replace the brake cylinders, do a couple things, but once I get the 40 running, I'm going to turn a little attention to this and get this one on the road too. So hopefully in the next couple months, I will have 2 Toyota Land Cruisers that are up and running and on the road. This one's really close. My goal is to get this one done in the spring. As far as on the road, then I'll have to turn my attention to the doors. As you can see, I haven't done anything with the doors or the top. The doors are right there, the top's right there. Underneath that pile of stuff in the back are the sides. So anyways, I'm getting close, and I promise to be making more videos. Sorry, I've been kind of slack lately, but here she is. Thanks for watching.